Welcome back. You're still watching Fut Afrique. This is where we talk all things African football. Now let's talk about the competition that has had the world at a standstill. And I say the world because many people with the money are taking a look at this because the African Football League is officially the advert for African football on the continent. This is our CV. When we go for sponsors around the world, we say, this is what we do, this is what we can bring.
You got to talk about the sponsors. You know, I mean, you know that Visa came on board from the Saudi point of view. Also have Visit Saudi came on board, and Visit Rwanda is one of the key sponsors. That is the reason why it's been beamed around the world. You know, it's a FIFA and CAF baby, so to speak. So that is why we have this magnificent tournament that you're playing at the moment on the continent. And it's only befitting that you have the top 8 teams playing in the competition itself this year, you know, so only 2 remain. One will be the champion. Who will it be? That's the big question.
Well, I spoke about it in the beginning. It's Wydad Casablanca who have pole position, and they seem like the favorites right now to go all the way. As we know that tomorrow the competition is set to wrap up. Mamelodi Sundowns with coach Rulani Mokwena, a young coach sitting on the sidelines. He's gotten them this far. I mean, it's been a fantastic journey. Mamelodi Sundowns have scored, only 4 goals in this competition thus far. But the fact that they find themselves in the final stages, let's go back to the first leg of that final that was played out in Casablanca.
What a game. You know, for me, when I saw the pictures of the fans around the stadium, goosebumps. You know, it
the kids was my favorite.
It reminded me of when I went to Ethiopia in 2013. Bafana playing against Ethiopia in a World Cup qualifier. We lost that game by 2-1. But I tell you, Itu, you understand the vibration that comes with that. And the fact that they have massive respect for the Sundowns as a team as well, the Wydad fans, was unbelievable. The kids that were there, beautiful to see that. I mean, the atmosphere is electrifying. And you always, you know, it's unlike Al Ali versus Sundowns game, where you always are going to have very tactical teams. You know, the structure is too different. You know, nobody wants to lose. But Wydad Sundowns always going to be pound for pound. It's going to be an open game. They're going to go at each other. And this weekend is no different. You know, what I love about Wydad also is the fact that they've got some new stars coming up. You know, we've always spoken about the ones we all know and the ones that have seen play so well. Your Jabranas of this world have actually done very well over the years. Baftoul has also always been there. But on Sunday, in fact, when I watched the game, and I was sitting, I'm thinking, they've got some new stars. They brought in some good players into this team. I mean, I was watching when we talk about Latimi for me.
He was lethal.
Unbelievable. Latimi was absolutely brilliant.
You know what? I actually think him going out in the first half was just Nelson Mandela turning in his grave.
Yeah, seriously. You know, because Sundowns looked better in the second half. You know, they exerted themselves much better in the second half. They went in and tried to get stuff. Once again, an own goal being scored by Rivaldo Cotia. You remember last season
that dark cloud still looms over Mamelodi Sundowns.
Even last season when we played against Wydad here in South Africa, goalless draw was the first leg in the semi-finals. The second leg, it was a similar situation, an own goal scored by Mvala this time around. But some stars have been born from Sundowns as well. We would also talk about that, you know. Moseko has really done well. He scored 2 goals so far. He's among the top scorers for this one alongside Karaba, who plays for the Al Ali team. But he still has a chance to score more goals. But what did you make of the second half when we had Zungu alongside Mokwena in the middle of a park for Sundowns?
I think that's when we saw, and I think this is one thing that a lot of people will talk about, right? Is that others will say Tebogo Mokwena wasn't at his best. But I'm like, I don't think he wasn't at his best. It's just Wydad had good defense. Ample amount of chances. But
also what was very important is that, you know, I love the way Zungu, after being criticized after the challenge he had on Bernard Parker, that he's come up to show exactly why he's such an important player. We saw vintage Bongani Zungu in the second half of that game. He literally...
This is Bongani Zungu before injury.
Yes. You know, the one that we saw before he went overseas. And you could see why they called him Ben 10. Because, I mean, it was a poster boy for everybody.
Every single auntie liked Bongani Zungu.
You know, so it was what he saw in the second half. He brought that into Sundowns' team. He brought back the confidence, started believing in themselves more. They started going with it more. They started knocking the ball around the way they want to play. They started building from the back, going through the middle, and Mokwena was now able to go forward more and get into those very good pockets of space and going forward. But, you know...
And we saw him play through the middle more.
That was very important, which is what you wanted to see more. But I still feel that Sundowns are still missing some players. You know, you can see the gap that
Shalulile.
You still realize why the Ribeiro is actually left on the team when you talk about Sundowns, you know. But we can never talk about Sundowns and never sit down and really say, let's give this young man his flowers. Khuliso Modau.
Oh, man. Did you
What
also
a
believe
player.
that he's the best right back in the world? And
He's-
he was
he's-
playing on the left this weekend.
Listen, I mean, if you have journalists around the world saying that when you talk about the best right backs we have in the moment in the world, it's Hakim and it's him, then you know just how good a player he is.
Oh, no,
I mean, I saw him from Black Leopards, and we saw a glimpse of what he can do. But he got to Sundowns, you got to see what a fine material he is. But it's also coaching. Coaching is very important. This is why you talk about the KFA license.
Yes.
Because coaching is important. When you have the tools, you're able to give certain things when it comes to the team itself. But then, Wydad is coming to South Africa. They've never won here against Sundowns. So Sundowns will say 3 wins at home against Wydad, 3
see
drawn
what we can
matches.
do.
Let's see what they can do this time when they do come to South Africa.
Well, we wait and see as to how the story is going to wrap up. One thing though, disadvantage, advantage, take it as you will. Should Mamelodi Sundowns, even though Wydad secured a 2-1 victory at home, should Mamelodi Sundowns secure a 1-0 victory at Loftus, they will ultimately be crowned the champions.